What are you doing in my apartment today?
We're filming a web series. Check it out. It's legit.
My apartment has been transformed into a set today, so I'm gonna get out of the way. This looks different, right? Just one gym in the center? Was it always a gym? Was it a Pokestop? Did something change here recently? I don't know. I don't see any new Pokestops. Maybe not. Anyway, Hilltop Park. But while we're up here, something kinda crazy got posted on the Sylph Road. Apparently, there could be Gen 4 stuff coming soon. The same guy who predicted the Water Festival is now coming back with a new leak, an evolution event. Let me start by saying, no confirmation on this. This guy did accurately predict one thing or maybe two things in the past. That doesn't mean any of this is going to turn out to be true, but I want to go over it because, I mean, he has been right before, and it's about time. It kind of makes sense. Here's what he says the evolution event potentially coming next week will contain. Gen 4 evolutions of previous generation Pokemon. They specifically mention Magmortar, Electivire, and Rhyperior. There are 22 new evolutions of existing Pokemon that'll be coming in Gen 4. So, Gen 4 evolutions of previous gen Pokemon could mean up to 22 new Pokemon coming when this event starts. If this event ever happens. Rumor, not confirmed. Obviously, that would be the first wave of Gen 4, the same way that the babies were the first wave of Gen 2. It kind of makes sense as a way to introduce them because, I mean, it's kind of building off of existing Pokemon. And if they were to just drop all the new evolutions, that's like a lot of the best Gen 4 Pokemon, actually. Continuing on, the event, the alleged event, will also include new evolution items, including elemental stones. A lot of these new evolutions evolve with evolution items. Some are specific to the Pokemon, some are stones, like the Dusk Stone, that apply to multiple evolutions. Some of them have to be done with trades. There's a lot of like really specific kind of evolutions that would happen in this batch, at least in the main series. But Niantic has also kind of had a reputation of dumbing things down, so we'll see how that goes. There will be double XP for evolving, again, not confirmed, and for spinning Pokestops. Pokemon Max Storage will finally be increased to 2,000, an increased rate of evolution items from Pokestops, increased spawn rate of evolved Pokemon. Gen 3 evolutions would finally be released in the wild, so Salamence, Metagross, those guys, which is great, because that means, that's exciting. Let's be honest. Gen 3's been out long enough that releasing them into the wild is not going to be like game-breaking at all. There would be new quests that reward evolution items. Makes sense. New raids with previous evolution item Pokemon. They mention Scissor as an example, and Scissor did recently have its game data updated to have a base catch rate, which is something it didn't have before because it was never catchable. You had to evolve it. So if it comes in as a raid boss, it would need a catch rate. That makes sense. New shop boxes with lucky eggs and raid passes, and there would be a new update before the event. That's kind of a loaded event, it sounds like, but we also don't really have anything going on between now and the Yokosuka event, the Safari Zone in Japan. So Niantic would need to fill that in the rest of August, basically. Not much going on. So again, this is just kind of one guy is saying this could happen, and this guy has said things before that ended up happening. Again, I want everyone to keep their expectations in check, but I did feel like talking about it because we are pretty much ready for Gen 4 at this point. Remember that poster that got posted before Pokemon Go Fest that included the Gen 4 starters. It's gonna happen soon, definitely. And this leak makes sense, but again, I'm not saying it's happening. In fact, I would lean towards it's not happening, just so that you're not disappointed if it doesn't.
Oh, you're confused? Come on!
Come on, here we go. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Come on. Come on. Hey. Hello. Hello. What are you doing? Peak summer. Peak summer in Long Beach. There's a crawfish festival going on, bands at Shoreline Village, a literal rave at the Pike. So I'm having a really hard time finding somewhere that's both bright and quiet. Can't go back to my apartment because they're filming in there. And all I really want to do is just talk about all these Pokemon that are going to get new evolutions in Gen 4. Well, real quickly, here they are. Did you see them? See if I can find a place to talk about them. Found it. My quiet place. The laundry room. Anyway, let's talk new Generation 4 evolutions. I've been saving up. I've been tagging them all G4. For the most part, these are high IV versions of these Pokemon. I've been saving them for a while. I've been meaning to make this video for a while, talking about these Pokemon that have new evolutions. Just, wanted to wait until we were a little closer to Gen 4, and now with this leak, it seems we could be very close. Again, just a leak. Rumor. Leak implies it's true. Rumor. Alleged leak. I cannot stress that enough. I just have to sit still. I'm going to start with the most potentially meta game affecting, the best, how about this? We'll call them the best new Gen 4 evolutions. Number 1, Rhyperior. This is my second 100% Rhyhorn, so I'll probably just evolve the one that's already powered up, but Rhyperior is the evolution of Rhydon. It has a special item called a Protector, and it needed to be traded while holding a Protector, I believe, to evolve. We could see that introduced with trading now a thing in Pokemon Go, or it could just be, an evolution item just like the evolution items that were used for Gen 2 Pokemon. Rhyperior has massive stats, 3,800 max CP. It's hands down going to be the best rock-type attacker. It's good offensively. It has really good defensive stats also, which means it's just going to tank a ton of damage. So depending on its moves, again, I'm not going to say too much definitively because a lot of what happens with these Pokemon is going to depend on their moves, but Rhyperior, with such good stats, even with the worst rock and ground type moves, will be a very viable Pokemon. So if you have a good Rhyhorn, a good Rhydon, you're set. I've been talking about this for a while. I like Swinub. I want a good Swinub. This is the best I've got. It's a 15 attack Piloswine. It's going to get a new evolution, Mamoswine, in Gen 4, and it's going to be the best Ice-type attacker, provided it gets the right moves. It will be the best Ice-type Pokemon, finally. A good offensive Ice-type with good defensive stats also. 3,200 max CP, 247 base attack. As long as Niantic doesn't just destroy it by giving it terrible moves, Mamoswine will be the #1 Ice-type attacker, probably. And with a good ground-type moveset, it could also be one of the best ground-type attackers. So definitely something to look forward to there. And again, One of the reasons I've been trying so hard to get a good IV Swinub. Next up, Magnezone. It's Magneton's evolution. This is an interesting one because its evolution depends on location. This was something that was introduced in Gen 4 in Diamond and Pearl, is that certain Pokemon would evolve if they leveled up in a specific location. I don't know if that's going to be applied here. Obviously, not everyone is in the same location, so it'll probably just be a regular candy evolution, but Magnezone, it could be a very strong electric type, again, provided it gets the right moves. And then as an electric and steel type, it has a lot of resistances, so it's going to be good defensively. Its HP stat isn't the best, but its defense is high, its attack is high. With good attacks, a good Pokemon. While we're on electric types, Electabuzz, my lucky Electabuzz here, Electabuzz will evolve to Electivire. It requires a special item, the Electrizer. So if we see that introduced, well, that's who it's for. This was one of the Pokemon that was specifically mentioned along with Rhyperior and Magmortar. Electivire could be, it has a higher attack stat than Raikou. It could be the best DPS electric type if it gets Wild Charge. If it doesn't, well then it's not. But keep an eye on its moves. If it gets Wild Charge, highest electric type DPS. Since we were just talking about Magmortar, with a Magmarizer, I think is what it's called, Magmarizer, probably. Magmar evolves to Magmortar, and unfortunately, it's not going to be better than current top-tier fire-type attackers. It's still going to be outclassed by Blastburn, Charizard, by Moltres, and by Entei. But it looks cool, so there's that, and I would still like a shiny Magby, which would eventually get evolved to a shiny, these lights are on timers, shiny Magmortar. Alright, I'm back. I'm back to talk about Tangrowth. This is one that I'm actually really looking forward to. It's going to be the bulkiest and actually really strong offensive grass type. It maxes out around 3100 CP. It has access to a lot of good moves. I mean, we don't know exactly what moves it's going to have, but it can learn a lot of the best grass type moves in Pokemon Go. So it could have DPS similar to Venusaur. It's also a lot tankier. Keeping on the grass types, just because I guess that's how we're doing it, Roselia is going to get a new evolution, and actually a baby form, Budew. But Roserade is the evolution, and, well, it's going to be outclassed by Tangrowth for sure, and then by Venusaur, Exeggutor. It's kind of more of a glass cannon, not really a meta-shifting grass type like Tangrowth will be. But if you have shiny Roselia, it's going to look good as Roserade too. You know what, why don't I'm going to keep going in Pokedex order now. Lickitung evolves to Licky Licky. It's not very good. It's a normal type, which means no stab moves, and its stats are pretty underwhelming. Rhyhorn we talked about, Tangela we talked about, Electabuzz, Magmar we talked about. Eevee gets 2 new evolutions in Gen 4, Glaceon and Leafeon. So I have 2 Eevees here, and we also have Eevee Community Day coming up, so you're gonna need, what, 7 Eevee if you want all the evolutions, 8 if you want to keep 1 Eevee unevolved, shiny, I'm talking about. Leafeon and Glaceon are some of those location-dependent evolutions, so maybe weather could play a part in that. Evolve during snowy weather, you get Glaceon. Evolve during sunny weather, I guess, you get Leafeon. Or maybe it'll just get thrown in there random. There will probably be nicknames for those. Usable only once, most likely. Of the 2 evolutions, Glaceon is going to be the better, well, in a better position. Stats-wise, it'll perform similar to some of the better ice types. It's a little tankier than Weavile, who we're going to talk about a little later on. That's another new evolution. It won't be as good as Mamoswine, but it'll still be a very good ice type option, and probably one that's a little easier to get, maybe? Probably not. It's going to get harder and harder to get the Eevee evolution you want. Leafeon as a grass type is actually not that bad. It's going to perform similarly to a lot of the top grass types right now. So, you know, there's options. There's going to be a lot of good grass type Pokemon coming with Gen 4. Again, let me remind you, all dependent on what moves they get. Alright, next up, Porygon. Porygon 2 evolves to Porygon Z. Porygon Z, it's a normal type, so no real stab bonus, but apparently, in cloudy, partly cloudy weather, with a boost to normal type moves, Porygon Z could have damage, neutral DPS on par with Rayquaza. That's kind of crazy. So maybe something to do with it there. Good neutral damage with the right moves. Again, always with the right moves. That's why I'm hesitant to make any like serious factual statements about these, because we don't know what moves they're gonna have yet. Togepi. Togepi gets a new evolution. Togekiss. It's fairy. It's a perfect opportunity for Niantic to introduce a fairy type quick move, finally. So it could be the best fairy type attacker. It could also just be another half fairy type attacker if Niantic decides, well, we still don't need a fairy type quick move. It would be nice to have one though. Apom. Apom evolves to Ambipom in Gen 4. Again, a normal type, no stab moves, underwhelming stats. Unfortunately, not one of the stars of this new batch of Pokemon. Murkrow, though. Murkrow's evolution, Honchkrow, will become one of the best dark type attackers, again, dependent on moves, but it has good stats. Hopefully you've been catching your Murkrow. I have 976 Murkrow candy, wow. But Honchkrow is a glass cannon, but could have better DPS than dark type Tyranitar, provided it gets the right moves. Misdreavus also evolves in Gen 4 to Mismagius. It's still going to be outclassed by Gengar. Gengar will probably be the best ghost type for a while. But it does have one of the better attack stats of non-Gengar ghost types, so it could be a nice alternative, or a fun alternative every once in a while. Gligar. Gligar evolves to Gliscor. Underwhelming stats. Underwhelming Pokemon, unfortunately. Just didn't convert well from the main series to Pokemon Go. Sorry, Gliscor. Sneasel, here we go. Let's talk about Weavile. Sneasel evolves into Weavile. Ice and Dark type again. It's gonna have really high DPS with the right moves, high attack stat, but pretty low defensive stats. So again, a glass cannon, but could be a good dark and a good ice type attacker. Okay, Ralts, Kirlia. You need a male. A male Kirlia will evolve to Gallade in Gen 4. It's fighting and psychic type, and it sounds really cool, it looks really cool. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be outclassed by a lot of other fighting or psychic type Pokemon. Even with the right moves, it can't learn either of the best fighting type moves. Counter and Dynamic Punch are both not in its move pool, so it's not going to get those, because Pokemon in Pokemon Go will never learn moves that they can't learn in the main series games. So it's not going to get those moves. Unfortunately, it's not going to be better than Machamp. It's still going to be a cool Pokemon. If you need some, different fighting types. If you're tired of using Machamp, Gallade, fun alternative. All right, let's keep it moving. Nosepass evolves to Probopass. I mean, it's got a nice mustache, but that's about as far as it goes in Pokemon Go. It has high base defense, but pretty low HP, and as a rock and steel type, two very common weaknesses. Double weaknesses, actually, fighting and ground. So, not even a good defender. Roselia we talked about. Dusclops evolves to Dusknoir. Dusknoir. Sorry, I'm not French. It is going to make it significantly better than Dusclops, but still not really good for much in Pokemon Go. Good defense, terrible HP, pretty mediocre attack. Bummer. I really wish I would have kept this shiny as a Duskull. I think it looks best as Duskull. Snorunt, female Snorunt, not my shiny's a male. Female Snorunt evolves to Frostlass in Gen 4, and it's ice and ghost type. It's also pretty weak stats-wise. And then I completely forgot about one last evolution, Yanmega, the evolution of Yanma. It's going to perform similarly to existing bug-type Pokemon. It's a little bit more defensive than Pinsir, than Scizor, so it definitely could have a place as a bug-type attacker. And then, of course, I also just realized I kind of stopped talking about evolution items after the first couple. A lot of these Pokemon evolve with evolution items. Again, you can check out the Game Press article that I linked in the description that has all the details on them if you want to learn more. Again, I'm hesitant to go and make any sort of definitive statements about how these Pokemon are going to perform because we don't know what moves they're going to have. And let me just remind you, again, we don't even know if this event is real. The leak guy specifically says that the leak specifically mentions Electivire, Magmortar, Rhyperior, so it's possible that if this is a real thing, only the evolutions of first generation Pokemon would be in the first wave, because 22 of some of the best Pokemon in Gen 4 seems like a lot to drop as like the first preview wave, the first introduction to Gen 4. Again, I don't know if this is happening. There aren't any more details, nothing new has surfaced over the weekend, but stay tuned, and once these Pokemon are actually in-game, once we know what moves they're going to have, I'll go into a lot more depth on which ones are actually going to make an impact on the metagame. Until then, stay skeptical, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow.